Good evening and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lee. I wanted to share my spread that I created tonight. Before I drew the cards, I focused on my YouTube channel. I was curious to how it would go and sort of an overall view of where it was, where it could go. And so when I got these cards, I was pretty happy to see what I had come up with. I've used tarot cards in the past to make displays. Specifically the Deviant Moon Tarot deck. I really fell in love with it. And I spent some time doing research on the Deviant Moon deck, and through the course of doing my research I ran into numerous people that used old playing card decks. And realizing that you could use a set of playing cards to read tarot, it brought back memories for me. I remember back when people used to use playing card decks. Back then I'd never even heard of a minor arcana or a major arcana. I had heard of the magician and the fool and the devil, the tower card, the wheel of fortune and that. But I didn't know enough about tarot to realize that there was a big difference between a tarot set of 78 cards when I knew that there was 52 playing cards in a regular deck. When I was growing up, a young lady I went to high school with, her mother would read the cards. She was an older lady, and she really knew the cards well. Thinking back on it now, she must have read a lot of fortunes for people over the years, because she really spoke with confidence about the meaning of the cards and what they meant. I saw her do a couple of drawings or spreads for people, and during the course of speaking to them, she would, depending on the question she was asked, she would even draw another card to see what the cards had to say about the question specifically. It was really kind of amazing. It's one of my fond memories of when I was a young man. Seeing that lady running through that deck so fluidly and so much knowledge about it. It was back in the late 60s. Well, I decided to use my Elton John deck because I've always been a big Elton fan. And I got this deck at one of his concerts. It was a pretty economical souvenir compared to a lot of the other items that they had there. And since I always like to keep my money in my wallet, I didn't want to part with too much. I just wanted a little something to remember Elton by in the concert and the show. So the deck of cards cost me a $10 bill. But now looking back on it, it was worth it. When I saw the show, I had to sit way in the back, because the tickets to sit up front were quite spendy. But they had the gigantic screen there, so I was able to see Elton just fine. And the sound system was good, so I could hear him real well too. Anyway, being sentimental, I kind of wanted to do a drawing using my Elton cards. I've always admired him because of his song lyrics and his music. He really has quite a knack for writing beautiful lyrics that really touch people. I think most of us can agree that he really is an artist of a very high caliber. So, I know you didn't come here to hear Elton John's life story, so I'll get on with my interpretation. What I do is I make the draw 3 regular cards and the 4th card as a clarifier. I look them over and see what they mean to me and what I think that they mean. Look them over, and then I look up each card for its traditional tarot meaning. I think that it's important to stay with the traditional meanings. It's sort of the established criteria that you really can't just take tarot and make it up as you go, or else it just becomes a bunch of hogwash, doesn't it? So the established meanings for the cards is what I'm going to stick to. The first card I drew was the Knight of Pentacles. It's a good solid card. Steadfast, loyal, grounded, somebody that's willing to work hard. I felt that it represented myself, actually. I'm not perfect by any means. If you ask any of my friends or associates or family members, they'll tell you I've got plenty of faults. But I've always considered myself to be a regular guy. And whether I liked it or not, I always had to work for everything I had and what I got in life. I never was a huge success. I kind of liked to take as many days off as I could. I'd go with my girlfriend to go out swimming at the lake instead of going to work. I liked to stay out and party with my friends on Friday and Saturday nights, so weekend work was out because I'd sleep in. When I was young, I liked to enjoy my life. Even back then, I knew I'd only be young once. And looking back, I don't have any regrets now. My second card was the Six of Pentacles. It's a real positive card, and I thought it shone well for my hopes on my YouTube channel. It seemed to indicate that everything was going to be working out okay, that I'd have adequate resources, I'd have adequate knowledge, that if I was smart and used my mind, that I could use those tools that I had on my workbench and make something worthwhile for myself. I had the stability, and I wasn't worried so much about myself as I'd like to know that my viewers had gained something from watching my YouTube videos too. Part of my motivation was to try to help. I mean, you know, in my situation, it wasn't going to cost me anything to try to help people. I could have created a channel that was just information only, but this actually does produce something positive for mankind in the sense that it may help somebody that's looking for some information. If I could make that small contribution, that would make me feel good. My third card, the Nine of Cups, is pretty much universally considered by everyone to be the good luck card out of the whole 78 cards in the tarot deck. It's just everything's coming up roses when you get the Nine of Cups. And when I considered it in relationship to my hopes for my YouTube channel, rather, that it made me feel good about my chances and about the future of my channel. A little bit of luck and the careful manipulation of resources usually does come up to equal success. And I do believe that there's a power in the divination of cards. So I feel real good about my prospects. Feel real good about the future of my channel. Time will tell. My clarifying card, the King of Swords, when that one came up, I felt real good about it. There was something about seeing Elton on the card like that as the king. That's just that symbolism alone, as Elton as the king, seemed to me to be a good sign. That in spite of what the other three cards were, the fact that he was the final card on the top of the heap made me feel good about the whole four-card spread. The King of Swords being a mature man, a man that was used to working for what he had and keeping what he had, seemed symbolic of where I was at today. I wasn't a wealthy man. I'm not a wealthy man. But I do feel confident in myself. And I know in my heart that I always did the best that I could through my life. I may not have been the hardest worker or the smartest guy, but integrity and honesty always were important to me. When I look at the overall picture, my story of my YouTube channel started with a young man, a steadfast man who had lots of hopes and was hoping and dreaming of success, had a successful career, enjoyed some good luck, and then had the comfort of an older man to sit back and look at his time in his endeavor. And I hope that as an older fella that's got some experience, that I could look back and get some satisfaction in knowing that I had walked the whole 20 miles of the 20-mile run. I'd started at the beginning and stuck with it and had some good fortune along the way and made it over the finish line successfully. I think if anybody could say that about their life or their journey, then they would have to feel like they had been successful. I would like to have some of your thoughts on what you think of this 3-card draw plus clarifier. Can you relate to the story I've told you about the young man and the journey, and then the older fella looking back on the years, feeling satisfied? Maybe he didn't reach the top, but he reached the end, and that's all that really counts. Like they say, it's not the destination that counts, it's the journey. And I hope that you have a successful journey. Plus, I hope you make your destination too. Good night, and we'll see you another time on my channel.